Ukrainian drone operators continue to prove their battlefield dominance, executing precise and devastating strikes against Russian forces across key battlegrounds. Newly released combat footage highlights the lethal efficiency of Ukrainian FPV kamikaze drones in targeting enemy soldiers, fortified positions, and armored vehicles. In one dramatic encounter, a Russian soldier was seen hobbling down a road, using wooden planks as makeshift crutches. As a Ukrainian drone closed in, he desperately hurled his crutches at the UAV in a futile attempt to defend himself. Moments later, the drone struck, eliminating him. Near Pishchenivka and the Kherson region, a Russian soldier was seen moving toward the rear along a river. As the soldier attempted to shoot down a Ukrainian FPV kamikaze drone, he was struck before he could act, ensuring his swift neutralization. In Kursk's industrial zone, Ukrainian drone footage captured an intense close-quarters firefight. Russian troops engaged in fierce exchanges with Ukrainian soldiers at just meters of distance. Amidst gunfire and grenade explosions, one Russian was killed instantly, while another attempted to flee but was gunned down as he retreated. Further footage showcases a fiber-optic FPV kamikaze drone striking a building where Russian soldiers were resting. Another FPV drone targeted a Russian dugout used by enemy drone operators. As one soldier emerged from the dugout, an explosion followed instantly, marking another successful strike in the Donetsk region. A separate combat video from Russia's Kursk region reveals Ukrainian FPV drones executing precise strikes on enemy positions. The footage shows the elimination of Russian soldiers and the destruction of dugouts, fortified positions, and armored vehicles, including BTR-82A armored personnel carriers and Desert Cross 1000-3 buggies. Ukrainian forces also successfully repelled a mechanized Russian assault near the village of Tykov in the Kharkiv region. Using a combination of kamikaze drones and copter-dropped munitions, Ukrainian forces targeted both infantry and armored vehicles, effectively halting the Russian offensive. In Novopastinka, Donetsk region, Ukrainian FPV drones struck a Russian MTLB vehicle filled with ammunition, followed by a direct hit on a BMP-3 infantry fighting vehicle. The resulting detonations were powerful, further crippling Russian battlefield capabilities. Ensuring that damaged Russian equipment could not be salvaged, Ukrainian forces systematically destroyed abandoned enemy tanks near the village of Zherebyaki in the Zaporizhia region. This tactic prevents the enemy from restoring lost armor for future use. Ukraine's defense forces have continued to repel Russian attacks along the entire front line over the past 24 hours, with the most intense fighting taking place on the Pokrovsk and Lyman fronts. According to the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, a total of 216 combat clashes were recorded. Russian forces suffered heavy losses, with 1,540 troops killed or wounded and more than 160 pieces of military equipment destroyed. A Ukrainian assault group launched a surprise ambush deep inside the village of Mala-Rowan, Kharkiv region, destroying 3 Russian T-72 tanks using RPG-22 launchers. Footage captured the destruction of 2 tanks, while the third was taken out off camera. Soldiers from the 110th Mechanized Brigade successfully repelled a Russian attack in the Novopavlivka sector, halting an armored convoy with drone strikes. The Unmanned Systems Battalion of the brigade managed to destroy an entire Russian armored column. A tank equipped with anti-drone protection led the convoy, but Ukrainian aerial reconnaissance detected the movement early and launched an immediate counterattack. Despite suffering initial losses, one Russian tank managed to push forward toward Ukrainian defensive fortifications, bypassing several minefields. Only after the third explosion did it come to a stop, where it was ultimately destroyed by Ukrainian FPV kamikaze drones. A massive mechanized Russian assault near Stepov, Zaporizhia region, was repelled thanks to a coordinated defense effort. Ukrainian forces had detected the enemy's advance in advance, ensuring the Russian troops had no chance of success. Ukrainian National Guardsmen successfully repelled a large-scale Russian assault near the village of Spern, Donetsk region. Using Mavic 3 drones, Vampires, and FPV kamikaze drones, Ukrainian forces eliminated 27 Russian soldiers and wounded 3 others. In the Kursk region, a Russian soldier attempted to take cover behind a tree in a forested area to evade a Ukrainian FPV drone strike. However, the drone found its target, proving fatal for the Russian occupier. Russian forces continue to launch attacks in an attempt to regain lost positions in the village of Konstantinopol, Donetsk region. However, Ukrainian troops remain steadfast, repelling enemy assaults and inflicting further losses on Russian infantry and artillery.